Right. Good day or good morning. I don't know when you woke up. But now we're all awake and we're all longing for this seminar on business services. Hello. Yes, fine. Business services. As Jerry said, support for growth and expansion. Well, I have another sort of input in this. My major occupation through the last couple of 40 years has been business information. And basically with business newspapers. The most important thing is to have real and independent information to decision makers. And decision makers are many, but they are normally running companies or parts of companies. And that's why business information, you can call it part of business services. Anyway, business newspapers. We started actually in 1976, with, perhaps you know, Dagens Industri. It's sort of the first real independent business newspaper in Scandinavia. And then we went on with Estonia, Eripav, Dienas Business in Lithuania, Verslucenius, Dienas Business in Latvia, Verslucenius in Lithuania. Puls Business was started in 1997. Wirtschaftsblatt, Börsen is a big Danish newspaper. Finance in Slovenia, but we've left Wirtschaftsblatt and Delovoi Peterburg. Nobody can be in Russia nowadays, so that's it. But if we go to our second picture, right? This is something you might know. Puls Business, so that's the first issue. And this is one of the last issues, actually. So it's next year will be 30 years in Poland. Dagens Industri will be 50 years in February. And Puls Business will next year be 30. Dagens Industri has 130,000 subscribers. And Puls Business is not as big as Dagens Industri, but has 28,500 subscribers. And is growing a little quicker. So we will see. I suppose it will grow much more in the future. But the essential thing is independent and real news to the business society, to decision makers. That is what's important. And with that, I just welcome you to, we will have a moderator today, Victor Doctor, who will continue this seminar. Thank you for coming.
You hear me? Oh, now you hear me. Thank you very much, Hans Jacob. I can tell you after your speech that all good things start in 1976, because this is the year when I was born. So we've got something in common in that space. Welcome here to Stockholm on this event, which is organized by Swedish-Polish Chamber of Commerce in partnership with ProProgressio, which I have a pleasure to be the CEO in Poland. We have created a partnership nearly a year ago, and there are many common initiatives which we are trying to grow, to build and develop on both sides of the Baltic Sea. And what we have for you for today, I did a couple of notes. So we have 7 keynotes and presentations. We've got 2 discussion panels, And the only reason why there are two is because of the number of the speakers. So we divided one subject into half, just to have more voices to be present to you from this stage. We've got over a dozen of speakers altogether. We've got over 200 registered guests on-site and online from Sweden, Poland, and also the other countries. So welcome our guests which are online viewing what we are going to share in here. We've got more or less 2.5 hours of experience and know-how sharing. And of course the networking when everything is finished from this official part. So welcome here, and let's get ready for this, what you are going to hear and see on this stage. Anyway, the first speaker who we are going to welcome on the stage is Juhlin Founder, Juhlin AB. How to build a strong culture that fosters team engagement. You are very welcome on the stage.
Yes, thank you, Jerry, and the Swedish Chamber of Commerce, Swedish-Polish Chamber of Commerce, for having me. I'm glad to be here. And to make things clear from the get-go, I'm not a psychiatrist, which Jerry pronounced me like. I'm a therapist, and nowadays I work with leadership and management. So that's what we are going to talk today about. And maybe my English sometimes will be I have some difficulty to find the right words, then you can help me out, okay? Thanks. So I was thinking about doing those PowerPoint slides, going them through in 10 minutes, but it's quite boring, I think. But the topics on those slides is interesting. Due to the topic. I did these slides together with Magnus Wilson, that is CEO at Playground Tech, which is Sweden's fastest growing tech company right now. And he is an expert on culture. So I'm thinking of applying this, think and act differently. So that's why I'm heading to the last page. Where is the last page? So if you connect with me here, and you can write me a DM or something like that, and on LinkedIn I can send you the PowerPoint. And maybe I will show you some slide further in. So what I instead want to talk about is something much deeper. I got asked before I came up here, are you going to talk about Swedish or Polish culture? I don't know. I'm going to talk about being human, I think, and how to lead a company and what my experience is, both in my own life, but also with my clients. And when we talk to people like Magnus Wilson at Playground Tech, they're not always the most like alpha male guys, the like strongest mindset. They're very kind people. And you can also see that they have cultivated a mindset that's more doubtful sometimes. Because to doubt is something good sometimes. Only idiots are sure of everything, right? How can you be sure of something? We don't know anything about the future. So when we doubt, we have a choice. What can we do when we doubt? Any suggestions? We can ask, but what can you do with yourself? How can you train your mind to be less doubtful? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have better gut feeling, what can you have like? What is the gut feeling that transcends doubt?
Basically, you need to start doing things before you worry.
Yeah, that's a good thing to like build your self-confidence. But the word I'm searching for here is trust. Trust people. Trust yourself. You have all, what to say, it's very understandable to doubt things, right? Especially if you're driving a company, about marketing and sales and building your team and how to achieve your goals. But the good thing about doubt is you can always push the trust button. And every time you do that, you get better in trusting things. Because if you not doubt things, my view of that is that either you don't challenge yourself enough, or you are deceiving yourself. I remember Rafael Nadal. He's quite a good tennis player, I think. He said, I doubt my whole career. And then you can meet people that's like, oh, I'm the CEO of this, I not doubt anything. It's not always a good thing. Because when you doubt, like Rafael Nadal said, you always have to figure out how to make things better. I'm not quite good at this. I maybe want to do this. I maybe have a hard time developing this. But I have to try, I have to trust. So back to management or back to business. If you don't trust yourself and trust your goals, it's very hard to achieve them. And to build a culture with no trust, it doesn't matter with those slides I can show you. It doesn't matter with those principles if you don't have that foundation of trust. And one thing to work with trust with the colleagues or the team is, of course, to do the classical feedback. How do we trust each other? When I say a thing to you, can I trust that it stays here? And many of those CEOs I help have a very hard time trusting giving away their, what do you say? Ansvarsområden. Help me out with this word. Responsibilities. Yeah. But a good leader like Magnus Wilson is very good at giving away his responsibilities to others. That's how they grow the company. Because if I'm a CEO and going to do everything in detail, I'm going to get stuck. It's very hard to scale. Maybe I will show you something. I think Magnus is a very humble guy. And I also hate this one when I meet people. You know, when you're networking or talking with people or you try to do business with people, they talk so much complexity. You don't understand what they're selling. If you're selling hamburgers, just say that. And that's a skill, I think, you can develop. To be more direct, to talk more a language that people can relate to. Good with the clock. So clear communication. And of course, when you have a team, that communication is very important for not having conflicts, to not getting troubles, and also to assure that your deliverance makes a good quality. You can never be enough clear in your communication, I would say. I think I'm clear to you now, but say maybe there are people here now think he's not clear. I don't understand. So you can develop that also. Because the ego is very assured of things. He wants to be assured of things, our ego. Because the world is scary, the future is scary. We don't know anything about the future. We cannot control the heart, the stomach, the liver, the bloodstream, the wars, the Trumps, the market. Oh, I always hear that nowadays. It's very hard times now, Kim. The market is very difficult. It's always been difficult for entrepreneurs on the market, right? That's the whole challenge about it. Like for Rafael Nadal to play tennis, it's difficult. That's the part of the game, it's fun. So, but I think this is quite good points. Work without personal prestige. But it's hard. I can relate to myself. I fall into that trap a lot. I think I am the guy that knows when I'm talking to people because I'm the therapist, I'm the coach. I know how to do things. But I noticed I develop much faster when I work with this. So back to my topic for today. Also there, how to culture a culture that can work without personal prestige. It's not about you here at work. It's about our business and customers and products. Leave the personal agendas to a coach instead. Also, this one is very good. Be very, and this is also Magnus' words, be very accurate with this thing, because if you want to scale a company fast and build a strong team and fostering people's potential, you have to be constantly work around the work thing. And work around the work is everything we work with we work with things that not is necessary. So what we had to do is to prioritize things. So fewer unnecessary meetings, it's good. But I would say actually, contrary to that more clients that I meet need more meetings to have this clear communication going on. But this is a good thing, so prioritize things and work with that and be clear with your team with that. So direct communication, don't take yourself so seriously. And of course, I already talked about love problems. And if you do this, you can start with one thing. You can start pushing the trust button from today. And every time you do it, you get a little bit stronger. And over time, you're there. Okay, I think my time is up. The battery's out here. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kim, very much. Thank you. Good opening to build the trust between all of us and also between you as the audience and the speakers who are going to follow. And talking about, do you hear me, by the way? Yeah. And talking about the following ones, now it is my big pleasure to invite Beata Osiecka, CEO of Kinnarps Polska, creating spaces for productivity, creativity and well-being. Beata, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the introduction. It's great to be here. Thank you very much for coming. And good afternoon. I will talk about how and why to create a perfect workplace. The first point in the agenda will be about introduction to Kinnarps, because maybe you know or maybe you don't know our company. Do you know that company? Can you please raise your hand? Who knows? Well, that's perfect. So this part will. So Kinnarps, we create sustainable, inspirational and efficient interiors design solution to contribute to prospering and well-being. And this is so true, because if we do it right, an office workplace can be a very good tool to meet the company goals and create successful community. We are Kinnarps Group, a leading company in Europe providing interior solutions, and we have extensive experience and capacity to handle large projects and large customers, because we are represented in 250 locations. Our production is based in Sweden, and that means that we have a full control over the entire chain, and we secure good working conditions for all our employees. We have been family-owned since 1942, and we act based on the same core values from the very beginning, which is to deliver high-quality solutions in a sustainable way with the best for our customers in mind. In Poland, we are a daughter company for Kinnarps AB, and we have our operations in all largest cities. So that ensures that we are always close to our customers, so they can receive the same highest quality of services. Now, let me share my over 30 years of experience of working with workplace in Poland, and also as a leader of a Swedish company in Poland. So Sweden has a very good brand in general in Poland, and good recognition, because Swedish and overall Scandinavian companies are believed to be great employers. So employees tend to stay longer, work longer for us. That is because of the values which Scandinavian and Swedish companies are usually associated with, and these are usually quality, safety, and sustainability. And it is very important for Polish employees that the company have those values defined, well communicated, and they follow them in reality. Then Swedish work culture is also important, and it's expected to be to have such elements like a flat structure, friendly leadership, good atmosphere, of course. And employees are coming to work for Swedish companies. They expect to have a good Swedish way, high quality workplace, which means high quality, ergonomics, friendly office environment. Of course, work stability is also an important factor, and Swedish companies are perceived to be human-centered, supportive organizations. For Polish employees, keeping work-life balance is also important, and partial hybrid work. So they come to Swedish companies to work for because they believe that this aspect will be covered. So let me say all those values can be easily and strongly demonstrated by the proper office environment, and I dare to say that Swedish companies in Poland should look according to their original standards in Sweden. So how exactly they should look like? I will talk about it following the list of our Kinnarps values. You can call it benefits, because if you follow them, you can be sure about good investment in your workplace. So let's start with Total Interior Solution Provider. We are here on the conference about shared service sector. And if you are setting a shared service in Poland, at the beginning, it starts very slow, with a small office unit located sometimes in a flex office operator. The team is small, everything is new. You are not sure how it will work. You are focused on recruitment, processes, efficiency. And now suddenly, an office is important to have. It's a crucial role because it becomes a home for a newly established team and creates a feeling of belonging and sets some standards. So then you are sure that you have made a good investment into shared service. It starts to grow, new functions are added, and your office project is not anymore a one-time project. It's a long, fast-moving process. So for that, you need a partner who understands both cultures, Swedish and the local Polish one in this case. So we are able to react quickly and support you in this fast growth. We believe that we should put an effort at the beginning of the project, analyzing the needs, working close with your team. We make sure that you get the right and most suitable solutions from the start, securing the future growth. The solution supporting your organization over time, efficient, flexible, and attractive. And it's not only about furniture. It's also about the design and the best layout, which is unique for every project, which creates a unique look for every company, suitable to their needs, and making workflow easier. It's a matter of designing the right amount of active zones, creative zones, semi-focus zones, high-focus zones. This creates the conditions for well-being, efficiency, and productivity. Now let's move to holistic ergonomics. We call it like that because we have a quite wide picture and understanding of what ergonomy is. We can look at that as two different areas, or three. A physical one, which includes the ability to change the working position and move between different spacing during the day. It also covers factors like air quality, colors, overall comfort. And the other one, organizational and social, which is more about structure, software, leadership, and so on. And this is mainly up to you, to the employers, to secure. We, as Kinnarps, we are responsible more for this physical environment. To make sure that the office meets those holistic ergonomic standards, we can focus on 3 key factors: encouraging movement, minimizing negative distractions, and creating a positive working climate. This is actually what holistic ergonomy means to our customers. When we ask them, they answer that. So you can see here a lot of good words which matter in every organization. And now, let's look at some facts. The first one, it takes up to 20 minutes to regain the same focus each time you are interrupted. 20 minutes. You can be easily distracted by loud colleagues, poor sound environment, poor lighting, etc. Three common complaints from employees about physical pains are back pain, neck pain, and tense shoulders. And that's universal data, not only for Sweden. There is a strong link between long-term sitting and cardiovascular disease, herniated discs, or many other diseases. I think it's obvious. And that's what I like most. Standing up for 3 hours per working day for a year, it's equivalent to running 10 marathons. Finally, 71 billion SEK. This is how much Sweden lost on the long-term sick leave in 2022. The data in Poland, by the way, looks similar. Just in 2024, we had 240 million workdays caused by the sick leaves. The most of that, 42 million workdays of sick leaves, are caused by musculoskeletal disorders. So in other words, investments in better working environment, which promotes better physical and mental health, is worthwhile investment. And here are some practical examples how to take care about ergonomy in the open space. You can see here possibility to work in different position, switching between standing and sitting position with the height adjustable desks, and the office chairs, which encourage movement. Also a lot of acoustic solutions you can see here. Here's an example of an ergonomic workplace in a high focus, good ergonomic chair, sit and stand working position possibility, encouraging movements, good acoustics, additional light source. By the way, do you know what is your best working position? Sleeping. working position. Your best position is your next position. So we encourage you to move during working days. And also, meeting zones are under our special care because today we often have a challenge of the hybrid meetings, and still we need to create a vibrant space for all team members to stay creative and efficient. So as you probably already noticed, acoustics is a very key element of office ergonomics, and the lack of sound environment is one of the main destructive factors I was talking about before. There are many ways how to using well-designed interior elements help in reducing, diffusing, absorbing, or blocking the sound. Finally, the colors. This is also an important part of holistic ergonomics. Colors are not only a question of fashion or taste, good taste or bad taste. Different colors really affect us in a different way. So we should choose colors wisely. For example, cool colors such as light green, blue, and beige are good for concentration. Earthy colors close to nature have positive effect on us humans. They create harmonious impression. Remember not to use too strong colors in the office. They can be a negative distraction, but you can use accent colors for navigation, creating zones, or promote a desired behavior. So to summarize, ergonomics is a great investment. It increases well-being, leads to higher efficiency, limits the sick leaves, and helps to boost our brand as an attractive employer. So now let's move to the design with purpose. Our furniture are designed for people. It's a human-centric design philosophy. Design is not only beautiful, but also functional and inclusive. Another great feature is modularity, timeless design, and long life cycle, which means that we are proposing the furniture which are designed to last through high quality and flexibility. I mentioned flexibility many times. We are thinking here about daily flexibility, which means it's adjusting for daily work environment, but also short-term flexibility, which allows workplace to adjust for temporary changes, easy to reconfigure. And then, of course, first of all, long-last flexibility. And this supports sustainable, cost-efficient use over time while our needs are changing. The last, not least, sustainability, which is universal value for most Swedish companies. It is important that you choose the supplier with proof sustainability policy. In our case, sustainability is part of our DNA, and it's presented in every step, from material choices to long-term impact. I will not talk about those things because I would need another 10 minutes, but of course we can also talk about circularity, which is, in our case, a very important issue. So we produce solutions which last, which can be used and reused, and then renovated and used again. That's what we call sustainable circularity. And we really call for responsible choices in purchasing. So here are 3 tips how to make such sustainable choices while purchasing office interiors. Think before you buy. Analyze your needs. Do not buy unnecessary decorations. Buy only flexible solutions which can last, and choose high quality because there is too much trash in the world. So I could talk about environmental issues more longer, but you can also have a look in our environmental report. And just to end, total economy is actually the summary of everything what we were talking about. Office interiors, take it not as a one-time cost, but as a very long investment into boosting your earnings and reducing your cost over time. And I would like to stress that Swedish companies, once again, I would like to stress, should look in Poland like Swedish. A good and reliable partner can help you to create a successful workplace in Poland, in other countries. At the end, the very end, I just wanted to flip some photos from some of the Swedish companies we furnished in Poland according to those values and benefits. It's Alfa Laval project, who has been our customer since the 90s. These are photos from the headquarters after rebranding, but we also delivered our solutions to shared service in Krakow. You can see the focus on minimizing of open space distraction and high quality ergonomic furniture, light colors, according to new company profile. That's Volvo Financial Services. We were refreshing offices in their existing location. The focus was on creating attractive environment with many social common spaces in friendly design colors. Many old furniture were reupholstered and reused in the new setup. And the last one, Scania Customer Service Office. Very difficult project of adapting the existing 25 years old building into a new layout without any break in operations. The focus here was on comfort and well-being for both customers and employees, and adding biophilic design, which is quite unique for automotive industry. So with that said, I would like to thank you very much for your attention, and I encourage you for further individual dialogue with me during the break. And I also have my colleague with me, Ann. So you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Beata, very much. I need to make here 3 comments. One is from the very beginning of Beata's presentation that yes, Kinnarps is very well recognized brand among the shared services in Poland. I do work with this industry for over 20 years, and I can see many. Those were just examples of many implemented solutions in the shared service centers. The second thing, you have seen this marathon comment in here. She runs marathons all around the world.
Today it was very difficult marathon to say everything in 12 minutes. I'm so sorry for rushing up
that
so
was
much.
A sprint. That was a sprint, and the last but not least, actually, in Poland, Kinnarps has a lot of showrooms. And the one in Warsaw is the one where actually we can also organize this kind of events, because there is a space for doing such stuff. Yep.
Very welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for good words.
Thank you very much, Beata. Okay, big applause, please. And now we move forward to our another keynote speaker, who is Aron Wängborg. Aron, are you here? You are. Okay, great. So Aron is an associate partner at Civitta, and he will share with us from lab to market, leveraging EU and national grants to accelerate innovation. The floor is yours.
Great, yeah, I want to speak about EU grants, and for that matter, Swedish grants and Polish grants. And I call this talk Leveraging EU and national grants to accelerate innovation. So my first question to the audience here, in your companies, are you building something new? Yes. I see nodding heads and positive answers. It might be a new product, it might be a new service, it might be a new production process, it might be even a new business model. So I think it's part of doing business today that you're constantly in some kind of transformation. And linking to this innovation, whether you call it or innovation or not, there might be public grants available for you. I really like this quote from Lord of the Ring. I will take the ring, though I don't know the way. And that's many times what innovation might feel like. It's an uncertain pathway. It's part of the definition even. You don't know how to get there. You don't know when you will get there. And you can imagine the leap of faith that Frodo needed to take when he made this decision. And this, again, leads to funding, because how will you fund your growth? How will you fund your innovation journey? It's part of the challenge. So again, my name is Aron Wängborg. I'm based here in Stockholm, associate partner at this management consulting firm called Civitta. Briefly about us, we exist in more than 20 countries across the continent, even from Uzbekistan to the US. I'm joined here by my colleague Emmanuel as well. In the back will be available to speak after all the speakers. And we do advisory, digital services and funding services. And what we notice, companies that are successful with acquiring public grants are those that use this as a strategic tool. And this is one of the topics I will be touching on today. So let's start on a very high level. Why would EU and governments invest billions into innovation each year? Well, it's not about charity, it's not social work, it's actually about supporting businesses to support EU's strategic goals. The EU and the national governments, they realize that, well, innovative companies and scale-up companies are useful to achieve EU's goals and policies, such as the Critical Raw Materials Act, Digital Decade. There's policies about security and defense, obviously, in this time. Sustainability is a massive theme, clearly today and the last decade and decades, although it's a bit forgotten sometimes. from farm to fork. These are all policies that EU want to promote. And one of the ways they can do that is invest grants into innovative startups or scale-ups to see their innovations come to fruition. And obviously, it's a very turbulent geopolitical time we are in. So part of EU's strategy with funding is also to maintain this strategic autonomy, not be reliant on US or Chinese technologies, but bring these technologies back home to Europe. Obviously, to promote employment, tax revenues, but ultimately also the EU and the governments, they realize that the innovation journey is risky, it's challenging, and sometimes too challenging for the market to take. So the EU is willing to de-risk these initiatives. Which brings me to kind of a simple insight. It means that if your company has a vision with an impact and you're operating in many, potentially one of these areas or others, let's say defense or communication or AI, health, energy, etc., and you have this vision for the future and your technology will bring impact to the people and society, there's probably funding available for you. But as you can see on the left here, it's a scattered, complex, dynamic, not always transparent ecosystem, this ecosystem that we call system for public funding. Which leads me to the next question. How do you fit into that diverse, dynamic, complex landscape? I want to speak a little bit about that so you can learn how you can utilize these funding that are available. So first of all, like every company journey is obviously different. No company journey is the same, but sometimes it follows a pattern. Maybe you have an idea, either in your dreams or at the university or when speaking with a friend, an idea pops in. You start exploring how can you solve a problem that you've identified. Maybe you start raising some funds and investments and invest into your technology development. Maybe you develop a prototype and start validating your prototype, your technology against the market, and then it's time to launch and grow. And then you repeat. You find another problem that you want to solve, and you find a technology or a service that can solve it. So maybe there's this kind of pattern that you might recognize from business journeys. Well, my message here is that there's funding available at every step of a company journey, roughly. In the system for innovation funding, from the policy perspective, now it's maybe a little bit technical, but just see that this is a scale from 1 to 9. And in this ecosystem, we speak about technological readiness level. So whereas this is just an idea, I want to go to Mars, TRL 9 is when you have your rocket and you actually reached Mars. So public funding and grants is not only like research or only development, it's actually available throughout this journey. These are names of a number of instruments at EU level and Swedish level. And by the way, for this context, obviously there's Polish instruments as well available. And there might be specific opportunities for Swedish-Polish collaboration. But you don't need to remember all of these. I think the important insight or thought that I want you to remember at this stage is that actually whether you're starting up or you're a very mature company, there could be funding available. A next principle that you might want to consider is that there's different ways of participating in public funding in EU, Poland, or Sweden. So you might be a beneficiary, the lead who's driving a project, an innovation or R&D project or deployment project. But maybe that's too heavy of a burden to carry for you, which might mean that you want to participate as a partner or even as a subcontractor. There's many ways to participate, and we have many examples where clients are participating as a partner or subcontractor in some instruments, but they are leading certain initiatives in their funding and innovation journey. Now, the last topic I want to touch on, perfect, 3.5 minutes left. The last question that I want to discuss, share some thoughts about, is what actually makes a funding proposal successful. Because it is also complex. Once you identify a perfect match, it's still a difficult task to bring that connection between your company, your idea, and the funding opportunity to a successful proposal. Well, having worked with this ecosystem for many years, I realized that successful projects are built from the bottom up. So the first area to kind of look at is eligibility. Well, is your company the right size, the right age, right ownership? So you're checking all of those boxes. Okay, good. Then you want to look at the strategic fit of the call. And is it aligned? Well, if you are, then you're checking only the first foundational box in building a successful proposal. So then you want to move on to designing a project concept that is completely aligned and strategic in various ways. We can support you with identifying which are the right consortium members to invite, which are the activities you want to include in the project proposal, and which activities are not relevant here, etc. So that's about designing the proposal in a strategic way. Then you're building your proposal on a scientific basis. You want to find evidence and data that supports your arguments in all aspects, also from your own maybe validation tests or open source science, for instance. Ultimately, you're building a storyline that fits together so that there's no questions unanswered. The evaluators need to see that everything in the proposal fits together and is logical. And we consider what we do in EU funding a craft. So it's a kind of a fine arts craft. And the ultimate pinnacle of our expertise is really about the communication, which, by the way, kudos to Kim Juhlin's previous speaker today, spoke about being clear and communicating in a simple manner so that the audience really understands. That's also my message, which fits into the high impact communication models that we apply for our proposals to be successful and actually get the funding. And just to summarize that point, a proposal to EU funding or Swedish national or Polish funding is ultimately about telling a story. So you might be experienced in pitching to an investor panel. Well, what we do is we pitch to a panel of bureaucrats or evaluators. And the way we do that is by telling a compelling story. It's a story about the technology, it's a story about the impact, and it's a story about why your company is the stakeholder to take this innovation or technology from the lab to the market. Which means I want to leave you with 3 basic takeaways. Stay true to your strategy. So know your company strategy and analyze those activities, the roadmap, the business plan, and the R&D plan that you have at the company. Analyze those. Which are the riskiest? Which are the most impactful to really understand and know where are the grants available, and then use the public funding instruments to accelerate and de-risk your path from lab to market. So that concludes the speech. I'll be available, and Emmanuel will be available in the afternoon to speak more.
Thank you very much. So hands up, who is looking for the EU grants? Now you know who to talk to. Okay, thank you very much, Aron. So now we go back to Poland, or rather from Poland to Sweden, and this is my big pleasure to invite on the stage Monika Röhr-Łukasik, Head of Solutions and International Growth at Axendi. And here we will listen to the case study, Management of Large-Scale and Complex Customer Experience Operations. Monika, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Microphone is working clicker is working as well. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here for the first time in Stockholm and for the first time here on the conference organized by the Chamber. Thank you so much for inviting me. I have 12 minutes to speak about a story on how important it is to choose the right partner when you decide to outsource part of your services. And I will speak about actually two companies. I have the pleasure to speak about the story on how Axendi, for which I work for, is collaborating since many years with Allegro. And I think that Allegro might be a known brand. I will maybe ask you, do you know Allegro? Yes. Hands up. Oh, it's a quite substantial amount of people here. That's great, but let's take a step back and who knows what happened in 1994? That was a very important milestone for e-commerce history, because that was the year when for the first time a single item was sold on an e-commerce platform that was called NetMarket. And does anybody know what that exactly was? For music lovers, that was a single CD by Sting that was sold online for the very first time. And here we are in 2026, and we look at Allegro, a Polish brand, a Polish very well-known brand that is actually in those years after being found in 1999, it has grown to be the 10th largest e-commerce platform globally, being right on the same pages as the big players like Amazon or eBay. It is a platform that is connecting 160,000 merchants in the CEE region, and it is having 21 million active buyers. I would say those numbers speak for themselves, but if you think about the history of Allegro, I'm sure that you will recognize, like any other business, there comes a certain moment where businesses are facing challenges while growing. One of the challenges that Allegro has seen and observed during their growth was for sure the fact that new players came into the market. So being built on the simple idea of getting people connected to sell their items on auction house, which Allegro was when they started, it developed into the largest e-commerce platform in the CE region. But we know the names. We know Amazon, we know eBay that entered the market as well. And in the recent years, we also have seen a significant increase of the low-cost, high-quantity, emerging e-commerce platform coming from Asia that are emerging in the European markets. Now Allegro had to take a decision. What is most important to still keep on their track of growth, and how to make sure that they will not lose the market share, not only in Poland, but also in the rest of the countries that they were evolving. And fact was that they did not want to lose their identity. So they focused on building, continuously building the trust and the quality around their services. They focused on building a remarkable ecosystem for the merchants, helping them to build own marketplaces on Allegro. And last but not least, they used any power to make sure that they find efficiencies to eliminate volumes, but focus on the experience for merchants and buyers and customers. And here comes Axendi at stake. In 2019, Allegro decided to outsource the customer service, and Axendi was the lucky one to win that race. And since then, Axendi has introduced what we called three remarkable pillars that supported Allegro along the way. And this is basically focused around advisory, the technology, and the delivery. And you have to think about it as from a partnership perspective, that you would like to have a partner that will tell you, observe, listen to customers, listen to NPS results, carefully analyze what is happening on the market and also with the customers, and give you advice on how you can change your strategy, enhance your customer service to make sure that you actually gain in market share, that you eliminate churn, and that you make sure that you also introduce technology that will improve the customer satisfaction end to end. This is exactly what Axendi does. So we are building technology that is AI based and generative AI based, from voice bots over to chatbot, but also any sort of automations. And we obviously have contact center experience, more than 16 years on the Polish market, that we are bringing to the table at the same time. Now, what was the solution that we came along? Everyone says they have AI technology, but we are focusing clearly in the collaboration with Allegro on making sure that we eliminate high volumes with AI solutions, like, for instance, proprietary analytics or voice bots or chatbots that we are introducing in the customer service journey. But on top of that, we build up our teams that are really focused on building expertise on how to handle high-quality, value-driven experiences with customers and the merchants on the platform itself. What I mean by the complexity management that we are doing, so you need to imagine we are supporting 57 different skills for Allegro in 7 different LOBs. And this starts from the merchant's success. So we are onboarding new merchants. We are supporting them to build their own marketplaces on Allegro. On top of that, we are helping and supporting the KYC process. So anything related to the fintech solutions that you can observe on the Allegro platform. On top of that, we are helping to navigate across the platform itself. And last but not least, of course, dispute resolution is a key element in any sort of e-commerce solutions. And this is what our human factor, so our agents are mainly focusing on. We do that in a variety of channels, voice channels, but also offline channels. And we really focus on putting one single aspect in place, which is value-driven experience. Numbers speak for themselves, we always say that, so let me give you a small background into the year 2023, which was a substantial growth year for Axendi in the collaboration with Allegro, because Allegro themselves also significantly grown. So we look at a community of more than 450 associates that are supporting the CE markets. We have significantly grown not only the agent community, but we are very proud to say that we have built training programs for managers, for support functions, all enhancing the customer experience within Axendi, all under the brand of Allegro and supporting their strategy of growth. To give you a little bit more numbers, we see ourselves as a proactive partner that is giving on a yearly basis more than 150 continuous improvement ideas to Allegro, meaning from smaller process improvements to AI solutions that we see that would enhance the customer experience, and thanks to that also increase the trust of merchants and customers to the platform itself. And only in 2023 we have issued 59 different outbound campaigns for sales that were coming from our associates as ideas to Allegro, which they in the end of the day agreed on. We spoke about technology. Let me give you a small glimpse into Agnar. Agnar is a tool that we have built, and I think I've heard today that great solutions are built from the ground. This is exactly how Axendi works. Our technology team is very close to the operational floors. We listen carefully to our associates and to the managers, and Agnar was built out of the need, when we were significantly growing with Allegro, on the need to be more efficient in the onboarding process. Imagine you are in peak season and you have to onboard hundreds of people. What is the most important thing that you can focus on? Well, the training, the onboarding of the people. How can you get better? How can you make sure that the people are increasing their knowledge as fast as they can to be fully productive in operations? Agnar has aggregated all the information on frequently asked questions from associates to the second level support requests. It has aggregated all the knowledge tests, feedback from agents directly, also from NPS scores. And we have built upon that new training materials, tutorials, in order to improve inefficiencies in the onboarding program. Numbers speak for themselves, so we have gained 61% in efficiency. We have reduced the response time, meaning the operating time of a single case, by 55%, at the same time increasing the quality by 10 percentage points. Behind every single number that you have seen on those slides, but also that any of us are producing in any sort of dashboard, there's one single thing that we have to remember. Behind all these numbers that are being produced, there are human people. There is a human factor that is standing behind that. They are producing those numbers. And that's why we focused on building a very unique program, which is called the Big Family Approach. and that is purely designed around the partnership of Axendi and Allegro to make sure that Axendi associates and the Axendi team is feeling part of Allegro's ecosystem. This starts from, of course, developing the supporting teams, but at the same time, I think my favorite one is the Alle Market platform, which is a unique gamification program designed around our associates that can gain, uwaga, alle grosze. So for Polish people, it's maybe a little bit more funny. But this ecosystem is more than just a motivational or bonus system. Associates can gain alle grosze, like those smart points that you know eventually on the platform, for great interactions, for doing something additional, for ideas that were brought to Allegro and then implemented. And for those alle grosze, they can collect them and then exchange them for high value prices or for a coffee with their boss or any other sort of like additional 5 minutes break next month, additional motivational things. On top of that, of course, we have built additional recognition programs, like every associates, when they start to work with us, they get an Allegro welcome pack, recognition programs directly from Allegro, and you really feel when you go to the operational floors that you're not in Axendi, but you are in Allegro. Last but not least, the performance benchmark is always the peak season. The peak season is when all of a sudden the phones are ringing hot, volumes are spiking, and this is the moment where a partnership is showing if the processes that are being built during low waters are bulletproofed. And I'm very proud to say that they are bulletproofed in our collaboration. So you need to imagine that the volumes during peak season, that is typically around Christmas, in any e-commerce is growing significantly. In that case, almost 40% of hours versus previous standard months. And typically in those times, it's very difficult to maintain service levels. We have improved the service levels by to 111%. We have at the same time increased the NPS scores by 1.1%. And all of that while improving the quality scores, despite the fact that we had very young and immature, not tenured agents, by 0.23%. Our partnership has been recognized, and it's worth to mention that whenever you take a decision to outsource part of your services, you need to always think about the outsourcing partner as being your second voice. They are actually ambassadors of your brand. It is extremely important that you realize as well that it is not a shame to outsource. It's not anymore talking about only lowering the costs of your services. It's more about finding the right partner that will actually enhance your strategy, and together you are building award-winning solutions for technology, for the best partnership, and for the best manager in the Polish Contact Center Awards. And if you would like to hear a little bit more about such kind of partnerships and how important it is to work on the customer service journey, I'm here. I'm alone. I don't have anyone else with me, but if you would like to speak to me, I'm here for any sort of discussions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So Axendi is representing a CX BPO type of the services, which in Poland started in 1995. So it's already over 3 decades of growing this kind of services in Poland. It's worth to mention that actually Axendi is a part of the OX group, which is one of the most recognized outsourcing groups among our country. Okay, Monika mentioned a little bit about AI. So let's continue the AI subject. So now it's my pleasure to invite Mikael Wällstedt, founder of Inonom, Sell More with AI, turning hype into real sales growth. Mikael, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, great to be here again. So I'm always very happy to be here at the Swedish-Polish Chamber of Commerce, because I always meet a lot of great people. I always learn a lot of new things, and you know, it's a great place to be happy, but also to make a lot of business. So that's why I keep coming back here. And today I'm going to talk about something that I think is very, very exciting, that is AI, and specifically how we can use it to really boost ourselves and grow more. And AI, of course, it means a lot of things. We all know it. It's everywhere. It's a revolution in all business. But it's also, what I see, it's really something for the small and medium-sized business companies. It's something that can really give them the muscles and the capabilities that only big companies could have before. That's why I think it's a big, big thing. And I'll talk a little bit about what that means. So I have been spending the last years doing business coaching. I'm still doing a lot of business coaching to helping companies. I have been helping more than hundreds of several hundred tech companies to really growing international. At the moment, it's a lot of companies from Sweden, it's a lot of companies from Africa, it's a lot of companies from Asia that I'm working with. A lot of these companies, they maybe 80-90% of them, what do they want? They want more leads. They want more business. So they ask, can you fix more leads? Can you help me open doors? Yes, so what do you need to do to find new leads and find new customers? I think we already heard the answer this morning by Hans Jakob. Go and read the newspapers and then go to events like this to meet people. It's a very simple solution. And when I tell the customers and the people I'm coaching, they say, yeah, but we already know that, but we don't have time. Okay, you don't have time. Why don't you have time? What do? Well, we're working on our products. We are working. We need to be better. We are polishing, cutting our hair, making our looks nice and all that, to spending time on all different things instead of going out and meeting customers. So now the thing is that many of us, we believe that we can be so unique, we can compete with our product and services and so on, and we spend a lot of time on that. However, there are always so many different alternatives. And if you ask the customers, they do have a number of alternatives. So how do you really compete? Well, I think it's exaggerated to think that you compete with just your product and services. What you more compete with is your skills, your efficiency, how to find new customers, how to be out there, how to push things forward, to be efficient. So that's why I thought maybe I can help these companies a little bit on the way, and maybe I can help them to see what we can do with AI services. So that's also something I'm working with. And when I'm talking about AI and sales, most people, they think that they see it in front of them like a multi-armed robot that is just sending out emails, that is calling customers like crazy and, doing a lot of things. Everything is automatic. Well, it doesn't work. There are a number of companies that are doing things like that. I don't see that is working that well today, at least not when we're talking about B2B business. If you would have a robot like that, it would be like this image here, shooting out in the dark without seeing. Yeah, of course, if you want to hunt for elks, for example, if you go out with a rifle in your hand in the forest and you shoot around, yeah, you might hit an elk if you're lucky. But probably not. So why don't we try to find better customers and really try to be more? Now, it's the same with agents that are calling out, Yeah, okay, they are very efficient. They can call hundreds of customers per day, but what do the customers think? Do they like that? Not really. So yeah, and we heard this already by one of the first presentations that it's about trust. We need to have trust in and decisions from customers. It's based on emotions. 98% of the decisions are emotion-based. So it's about trust. And what do we need to do more B2B business? Well, we need to have meetings. We need to meet people, and we need to make those meetings really, really good. And when we have a good meeting, we need to give them a great offer. So that's the first thing. How can we start by getting more meetings? Meeting more people and having better meetings so the customers want an offer from us. And in the end, how do we give them an offer that they say, yes, this is what I want to buy? So what I've done, I built a business system based on the number of different AI agents. So it's an agentic AI system that is doing a number of things to really help you find the right information that you do need. So the first thing is that how do you get more meetings? Well, if I can give you a list of customers that want to buy your service, do you think it's going to be easier to set up the meetings? Of course it will be that. So that's what I've done. I built a system that is going out, searching for public information that is relevant for you and your product. And for example, one of my customers, they are selling advanced security systems, like CCTV cameras and so on. And they said that we found out that the best chance to sell something is if we find a company that is moving. A big factory, something that is moving to a new facility. So how do we find them? Well, I built a agent for them that is finding companies that are moving and then giving them a list of that. I have another client that is selling consultancy services, very, very specific consultancy services, SAP consultants for human resources, very, very niched. How do they find those? Well, what they were doing before is that they were reading the newspapers, they were scanning all, who want to hire. Well, an agent can do that job. So instead, every Monday morning, they get a list of actually what companies are looking for SAP HR consultants. And then, of course, they need to call them. So, but then what happens then? Okay, you get a meeting. You need to discuss with them. And meetings, only in January this year, I have 3 meetings with executives that don't want to meet more than 20 minutes. I usually have 30 minutes meetings when I have them online, but I see that time is shrinking. It's going more to 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So you need to be very focused, very efficient what you talk about in that time. You can't just talk about the weather, about hunting elks or whatever you like to talk about. You need to be very focused. So, what we're doing here is that we have a deep dive of each and every opportunity. So before you have the meeting, you can scan, is this a company that can buy my product? So are they qualified? The person I'm meeting, will it reside so I don't waste either my time or my customer's time? And that helps. And of course, then, in the end of the meeting, and after you have had this meeting, you need to give them an offer. And I had a customer that said, I need your offer or your quote in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, wow, that's time. And then they also send the purchase order back in almost 10 minutes afterwards. So if you have what we have here is that an agent that actually takes what we discussed and then prepare the offer based on exactly what the customer is asking for. So that's something that also helps. So the point about AI, it's not. I think we're thinking a little bit wrong about AI. We think that AI will solve everything for us. It's going to be a magic thing that's going to take us to the moon. We don't need to think like that. AI only needs to help us a little bit on the way. It can help us to do what we do today, but a little bit more efficiency. And it doesn't need to be that much. If we can just be a little bit more efficient with what we do today, we are more competitive. And if you want to talk further about that, I'm here. Love to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mikael, very much. By the way, I don't know if we will be talking later on about flying to the moon, but we will have some space elements in our discussions later on. Okay, he was 2 minutes faster, than it was supposed to. So I wasn't ready to step up so fast, but no, it was just a joke. Let's move forward. So now, another topic, quite important. Here there were mentioned some SAP HR people. So I can tell you already that those are the people who are quite required in Poland. So a lot of companies are looking for SAP specialists and experts. And now maybe not only about the SAP experts, but about some human aspect of the labor market we will have a chance to listen to. Because now my big pleasure is to invite Magdalena Białek, the strategic client lead from ManpowerGroup, who will tell us about the Workforce Trend Report, the latest trends in the labor market and salaries in Poland. Magda, the floor is yours.
Hello everyone, it's very nice to see you all, participants, online participants, and the members of the Polish and Swedish Chamber of Commerce. I represent ManpowerGroup. We are the HR experts. We provide the business also when the investments ask us about the talent pool, the labor market. We also provide many services. We are 25 years on the Polish market, but today I will focus on the market and I will speak about the Workforce Trend Report. I will share some insights with you about the latest trends. I would say these trends are mostly globally, but also we see this in the sector, in the shared service sector in Poland. And I will speak a little bit about the data and about the trends in the salaries in Poland. So I would like to share information about the Polish market with you, some insight from our side. So if you are thinking about the business in Poland, how is it come? How is the situation right now? Yes, because the market changes. We all speak about this. So right now, if we focus on the economic GDP growth, we can say that the situation is stable. The situation is very good because last year, the GDP in Poland increased 3.4%. It's a great number. And the prediction for this year, new year, is still very, very optimistic. We are on the 3.5% GDP. So right now, the situation for the investment, we would say it's stable, it's good, it's optimistic when it comes about the market. And when we highlight the trends, some of them, of course, because there's a lot of trends right now on the market, I think that gig economy, you know, all of you know the gig, yes, but we see on the market right now in Poland that gig goes big. That gig economy, so part-time, short-time terms agreements, contractors, I would say subcontractors, not only in IT sector, but in very different sector of the market. Now it's growing. The last year was the most dynamic year ever in Poland when it comes about the decision of the companies to hire on short-term agreements. So the market is changing. Why it's this? You can ask why it happened. There are some insights about this. The gig is popular, more popular every year because the companies are looking for specific competences, not only entry level, but specific seniors, experts, sub, yes, in IT, cybersecurity people for short-term projects. So they are deciding to hire more in short terms, but also people are changing their attitude to the work, yes. So Gen Z, here, 27% currently supplement their primary basic income in a part-time gig of work globally. Of course, this is economic situation, but also it is mental situation. They are looking for to being free, not to be only in one employee, one office. So we see this in the market right now. It's changing also in Poland. The second trend is upskilling. We see that this is the renaissance of the upskilling. Reskilling, upskilling, the people are looking for new competences. They know that AI is here, so they are struggling also about the work. So entry levels, administration are looking for new skills to be more attractive for the company. And of course, companies knows that if we are aging, because also people, you know, the population are getting lower, they should also changing their offer for the employees. So they had the learning and development departments. They skill they develop the people, and everything is changing right now. So also this is the second trend that I would like to highlight. The third one is AI augmentation. Do you heard about this? I hope so, because this trend, it's not automatization in AI, this augmentation. So the person, the people, the manager, the workers are in the loop of the process. So they managed AI. They see right now that the situation on the market is that AI adapts. So there are some mistakes, so the people should use AI as a tool. So I hope we are happy with this, yes? So we won't be replaced. So of course there is also a new future or current manager role to highlight and to optimize also a technology. So expectation about the managers in companies are changing. Talent droughts. Yeah, so we know that we are aging. Economies shows that by 2030, 1 in 4 workers will be over 55 years. So also companies see that they have to make a new strategy to attract people, to find the top talents, also to be sure that they won't have rotation when it comes about the key competences in the companies. And many companies are more focused on the culture, on the well-being, on the perspective, how to hire competences from the market, but still how to develop competences and be sure that the top talents won't go away when it comes about the situation on the market. Unemployment in Poland, I think you know that we have lowest levels of unemployment many years in the EU. So the situation, of course, is tough if you are looking for top talents, but still you have to be also known that the situation isn't same at the many area of the Poland, because we have also such a voivodeships like Subcarpathian with 9% of the unemployment rate. So the strategy of the companies who are looking for people all over the Poland, if you are looking for a remote or hybrid model of cooperation, you will be more successful, I would say. Rather, if you are looking in the big cities, people, you have to pay more because expectations are right now high. Higher education is okay right now in Poland. We see year by year that more of people educate themselves. We have more than 1,300,000 students in Poland. Every year we have about 300,000 graduates. So they are on the entry-level position. They are educated. They have I would say knowledge about the foreign languages also. Most of them are on the business, on the administration. Of course, we would like to have more people on the engineering and industry and construction sectors because we need them a lot. We have plans to build a nuclear plant in Choczewo in Pomerania district, so we need people a lot of people. And when it comes about the trends in the salary, these are some positions non-IT. I will highlight maybe some information about the trends in the salaries in Poland. We have a growth year by year about 9%. It's higher than estimation. It was about 8%. So everything is changing. Here I highlight some information for you. Of course, you will find these details in our reports when it comes about ManpowerGroup. But when it comes about the bonuses, still for Scandinavian language, companies pay extra bonuses, even €500 per month, because most of companies with Scandinavian looking for those people. Mostly we have Swedish specialists in Poland, 8,000 people. And when it comes about this trend, how it looks like when it comes about the education in the foreign languages in Scandinavian market, people invest more. So people see that this is a very attractive position, you know, upskilling, reskilling. So they know if they will know language in the Scandinavian area, yes, Swedish, Norwegian, they can be very, very needed in the market. Mostly Warsaw, Gdańsk, and Krakow. These are the top 3 locations for Danish, Norwegian, Swedish, and Finnish location. So mostly you will find languages of those candidates in these cities. And also trend, I will think, important when you think about the investment in Poland. We still have a lot of foreigners. We're happy with this. We have more over 1 million foreigners working. Yes, working in Poland, who are actively working. Of course, most of them are Ukrainian citizens. It's almost 70%, but still we can say that also we have a very diversity market when it comes about the languages, because right now we see more than 150 countries that these working people came to our country. So we are happy with this also, because very, very rare languages are also based. When it comes about the well-being, yes, because it's very, very important trend. We asked the employees about what do you like about your job, if you are looking for unique selling point on the offer. Still, you have to be sure that they are looking for well-being, so friendly atmosphere. They also would like to match their responsibilities with the skills, with their also interests. So they would like to have fun at work. They are looking for this, and also, of course, remote and hybrid work, because it's still the most common when it comes about the sector. Shared service centers in Poland, we can say that most of companies work in a hybrid model, 3 or 2 days in office. And also we ask, what would you make your workplace more attractive to you? And of course, most of people looking for no monetary benefits in general, more and more. Of course, additional days off. And I would also highlight flexibility, not only remote and hybrid model of work, but location and hours. So these are the highlighted here data for you if you're thinking about offering job on the Polish market. Thank you very much for your attendance.
Thank you very much. Manpower, by the way, is a very well recognized HR agency around Poland with a couple of brands. Basically, this is not the only one brand where the company is operating, and very familiar with various industries, not only blue collars, but white collars as well, and especially in the GBS and shared services industry. Okay, thank you very much, Magda. And actually, we can give another big applause to all of the keynotes, because we just finished the single presentation. So thank you very much for that. And we are now moving to the second part, which is the discussion panel. And actually, 2 discussion panels. So let's see how it goes. And here I will need some kind of a, yes, przerwa. Break. 5 minutes break. Who wants the break? Hands up. Everyone needs. Okay, 5 minutes break. And while waiting for all of you to take your seats, I will already invite my special guests for the discussion panel, the first of them. So it is my pleasure to welcome on the stage Matylda Roszkowska, founder Simple Plus Effective. Matylda is with us, so big applause for Matylda, please. Whichever you like, you are the first one. This is mine. I have taken the back seat. Zbigniew Skok, co-founder of AppProto. Zbigniew, come and join us. This is the guy who may take us to the moon, we will see. And Borislav Sinicki, CEO of Virtani. Borislav, are you with us? Borislav is with us. So, Filip Grymer, come on, join us. So it looks like most of us are here, and you are quite silent now. You can... Okay, so the form of this discussion panel is that they have a challenge because they have only one mic, and I have mine, which I am not giving to them. So we will see how it goes. The way what we are going to run this discussion panel is that, of course, I am going to start it, and I do have some questions in my head. But afterwards, we will see how the discussion goes. So maybe I will not be asking the questions. Who knows? We will see how it will be. Anyway, the topic of this discussion panel is how does the business services sector create growth and expansion? Okay, the topic might be quite wide, but to discuss it, we need to know a few things. First of all, the business services is a huge sector. So companies who provide services like legal advisory, accounting, payroll, HR, advisory, coaching, training, and I can keep on going. They are all the players in the business services sector. So we have 4 representatives of 4 different companies. Let's know them a little bit better. Matilda, I will start with you. If you could tell us a few words about yourself and your business. What do you do on a daily basis?
Sorry, I wanted to take
No, I am not giving mine.
Well, first of all, I would like to apologize because my plan was to start by saying something in Swedish, which I took up recently, but I had a couple of rough days health-wise, so I did not have enough time to practice because what I was going to say is much above my level. So if you would like to hear me speak Swedish, you need to invite me another time. Anyway, so I am a business consultant, a coach, and I would have said a trainer a couple of time ago, but I do no longer introduce myself like that. I like to help companies and individuals implement ways of improving the areas that they want to improve. And I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we go to Borislav.
So really shortly, it was a long time ago I spoke in a microphone. I'm the CEO of Virtane. We're a payroll service provider primarily, but we have an international twist and focus. So we also offer business services that are related to this, such as international expansion, market entry, company formations, and accounting as well, and other services.
Thank you very much. Zbigniew?
Okay, so I'm the co-founder of AppProto, and most of all, I'm an engineer and designer, and our company is meant to design devices and provide people with mechanical design and creating products from concepts to reality.
Thank you very much. And the last but not least, Philip?
Yeah, I'm Philip Grymer. I'm with Röhr since 18 years. We are an audit firm who also sells advisory services, tax, legal, business process outsourcing, payroll, financial accounting, controlling advice, often in a multidisciplinary approach across borders as well. We have 6 offices in Poland and, as it happens, 6 in the Nordic countries as well today.
So 6 in Poland and 6 in Nordics.
And about 110 in the whole world.
So now you know who sits in front of you. We are in the very beginning of 2026. It is always a good time to take, first of all, a review of the past year and maybe to do some forecast for the coming year. So from the perspectives of the industries which you are representing, from the perspective of the companies which you are representing, did you notice any significant change or any significant trends which appeared in 2025, which may be followed in 2026? Philip?
A more diverse background. Many of our clients are foreign in Sweden. They are often coming from Germany. Our headquarters are in Germany. Classical business lines have been added to with very modern business lines as well, using AI technology, for example. So a bigger spread in the business sectors coming to Sweden to establish themselves. Business establishment is what I primarily work with, and if the Polish or German or a Dutch company, it's the same needs and requirements they have for business services. So a bigger spread, not just traditional industrial areas.
Yeah, you can follow.
Follow what exactly?
Follow what exactly? I will come back to the question that basically all of you are representing a little bit different part of the either services or research or technical part of the business. And as we are in the very beginning of the new year, maybe we can see already or identify some kind of trends which have started in 2025 and now are going to be either continued or maybe stopped in the 2026. You are in a very special business, to be honest.
Yes,
did you see some kind of significant changes in it?
I can say so. And for
it's luck for us as a company that wants to create aerospace grade stuff, is that there are more and more investments towards aerospace industry, and that people are leaning towards coming back to space. There are more programs coming in. People want to come back to orbit. There are more and more ideas, especially like in the recent years, to create new types of rockets, new satellite programs, and even mining in space, which is kind of novel, but as some programs just return to moon, go to other planets, and that is especially interesting because new softwares also emerges that will help us to give us the tools to create amazing devices, amazing vehicles that will probably propel us to the space.
Yeah, the 2025 was quite special for Poland because the Polish guy actually went to the space.
Yes, exactly.
Which is giving a huge branding for our country for the last couple of months. Okay, Borislav, and how is it from your perspective? Any changes significant?
Yes, we had a short call last week, and you actually did ask this question for me, and it's a question I always ask myself as an exercise to see what has happened and where things are going. And it got me thinking a lot after you asked this question. And I put together a lot of notes and a lot of thought into it, and I tried to condense this into as shortly as I can, hence the cheat sheet as well, which is good to have.
It's still paper, not AI.
No, it's not. I'm old school in that sense. But AI is definitely something that you cannot not talk about AI in today's world. So AI is something that will affect us in the payroll service providers business or the business services sector as well. It will affect us in different ways. We've seen a lot of consolidations within the sector as well, especially in Sweden and the Nordics across. I think that will continue. So you have a lot of larger players coming in, and as somebody put it to me a couple of weeks ago, vacuuming the market, pretty much buying up and going on a mergers and acquisitions spree and buying a lot of firms. And you also have the one thing which is very specific for the payroll business is the EU Transparency Pay Directive. That will be implemented this year, and this will affect everybody pretty much. So for all firms, I think that have more than 10 employees, this is something you really need to have a look at, and payroll service providers need to offer the support, and softwares need to be able to facilitate this change as well, and what it means, and interpret this, and so on. I have a lot of notes here I will gladly share with you for any questions.
We have plenty of time, to be honest. We can, maybe not all of them, but definitely we can go through some of them.
Sure.
You sure that you want?
No, I think we'll discuss.
We will have some time, yeah.
Well, I think that more and more companies are realizing right now that leadership, or the notion of leadership, is changing. We have not known such unstable times for a long time. We had the pandemic. We had the war between Russia and the Ukraine started, and then I think that right now leaders need to provide much more stability, and they cannot be hectic. There are also lots of problems that were caused by the fact that during the pandemic people worked from home, and right now many companies want them to go back to the office, but people got used to working from home. There are problems that stem from that because, well, some people cannot work remotely just because they do jobs that require a physical presence. So then there is this notion of an unfair treatment because they do not have that option. There are also motivation issues, as in companies start to realize that just by organizing Fruit Mondays or any kind of these initiatives, that is not enough. What you actually need is for people to trust each other and to build that trust. So that approach has to change. And I have more and more clients that come to see me saying that they invest a lot in trainings, but they realize that those trainings without any kind of implementation do not work. it's just a report or a paper that goes into a virtual drawer or a physical drawer, but then employees forget about that. No one checks if it's being implemented, and none of the employees that were part of the training actually implement it. Thank you.
You touched one of the subjects which I would like to follow. This remote work, or this type of work which we are experiencing. The pandemics, when it came a few years ago, it completely changed the market, including the business services. Yeah, earlier on, all of us were working in the offices, then started to work fully remotely, at least in Poland. I know that in Sweden you were recommended, not forced to work from home. We were forced, yeah? So this time is already behind us, but now we are working in more or less the hybrid model. So now, from the perspectives of your businesses, is it going to be like that now in 2026? We are somehow creating the trends or analyzing them. Does it mean that the hybrid model, the smart hybrid model, is something what within the business services industry is going to be continued, or we are expecting some of the changes in that area? What do you think?
I think it will continue. I think what we saw in the beginning with the pandemic was a kind of an extreme push towards everybody working from home or remotely. And after a while, you had a pushback. So you landed in the hybrid model. So usually you tend to have these kind of pushes towards one side, and then you go back a little bit and you land somewhere in the middle. And it will be a hybrid model if you can work from home. And if we saw the presentation from ManpowerGroup, if you looked at what people were looking for the most, was not higher salary, but freedom of choice, pretty much. Benefits that are not monetary, or the choice to choose where you work from, or more vacation days, more free time. I think it's more also younger generations, because we who are a little bit older maybe have been used to working in a certain way. But if you're younger, you're coming out from the university and you're starting to work as remotely first, you didn't have the experience of working from an office initially. So that changes things on how you view the work-life balance and everything as well. And I think it will stay. And the challenge in that will be competence transmission, as you say, as well. Because you do trainings, you do courses, you try to train your employees in doing certain things, or how do you transfer knowledge if you're not sitting in an office, you're not hearing what everybody is saying from different departments, the casual standing next to a coffee machine and talking with your colleagues. So this has become a challenge, and you see this often in organizations working remotely, that you have a lot of back-to-back meetings. And then we come back to Kinnarps, as they had the presentation on environment. If you're not in an office working, you're working from home, what does your home office look like? What does that do to sick leave and everything else? So it's all kind of interconnected in a sense. I think that it was a long monologue to your question, but I do think that the hybrid model will stay, but it implicates a lot of things and it changes a lot of things, and we need to adapt to it as well.
And Zbigniew, from your perspective, because you, as I understand it, work in such an industry where there are top secrets when it comes to some ideas which you are identifying and creating.
At least they may be.
At least maybe. So now the question, this type of work, which I think we can put into some kind of a research area or know-how area and so on. How should this work? Does it work in the remote or the hybrid model, or you rather prefer to have a team all together working on those solutions which then can bring us to the space?
From my perspective, it works even better in hybrid or even remote way. But that's partially because our team consists of different people. And while I was working on a space project before, some people were in Poland, some people were in England, some people were scattered all over Europe, and we were working together. And it wouldn't be possible to create this to continue this design, because the project started during our period when we studied together, but then we scattered across the Europe, and still we were able to continue on this project. And when people are actually eager to work and they're ambitious, this hybrid or even remote style of working works almost perfectly, because everyone can take his her tasks, and complete it without the problems of traveling or being just restricted to one area, one country. But of course, meetings are very important, and this is crucial for sustaining, especially the connection between the employees and between the company and the clients. That's obvious, I think. But in terms of as you said, the secrets, it depends. If we are not taking into account the possibility of surveillance or something like that, because that's a completely different story, and it's not really my my background to tell if it's safe to share the secrets during online like video calls. I can't answer yes or no, but from the perspective if it works or not, I think it works. You can just sign NDA online, and it's the same as if you were in the same room. So that's my opinion on that topic.
Filip, I will go to you, but with some additional note to that, because maybe not secrets, but some kind of cybersecurity or data security. You are representing a typical outsourcing company working on sensitive data. So you are working with companies who trust you when building the business. How, from that perspective, the remote or hybrid work looks like?
The softwares we use are able to work remotely as well. So it's set to be able to work remote. We have a hybrid solution today that works well. Hybrid solutions are, as colleagues have said, that you need to meet your colleagues at the coffee machine. You need to be able to share ideas to develop something. You don't do that at your own kitchen table at home. Also coming back to mental health or just physical health, you don't have a good office position to sit. You may be at your kitchen table or a dinner table too long time. You need to be in an office with a good environment, and that is not only to meet people, also to be inspired by seeing a colleague or listening to a colleague and having a random meeting at the coffee machine and develop ideas. So for security reasons, there's not an issue with this. We don't bring papers home at all. We work digitally only. So that's not an issue. But we know that there are really good accountants, good lawyers who can work from anywhere, 100%. And then there are those who need inspiration, who need support to become really good and to do good work. People are different, but important is to go to your office and be at your office. Also to meet your clients, of course. Teams meetings are great, and we learned to use Teams meetings during the pandemic. But to be able to meet a client face-to-face, to invite them to your office, to go to their office, especially when you are establishing yourself in Sweden or in Poland, it's important that you accept your client is actually going to Sweden to establish a new company, to sell their products. And if it's possible, then you should meet them and not just book a Teams meeting as a way of presenting our services to them. I think that's quite important, to spend time again on visiting clients and not focusing on that you're able to meet them via Teams. That's great when you have met them, first of all, physically. Then you can, of course, meet them on Teams as well. So remote, hybrid is perfect. As we heard before, to develop ideas, to develop business, both for us selling business services and for you selling services and products. We can't sit at home all day.
Matilda, I will come back with this question to you because I have something else with what I wanted to know. I mean, the company's culture. This is something what also was impacted when we were moving to the hybrid model of work, and this is something what we should educate the teams. I hope so. So the question is how it is impacted actually to share the way how the company should transfer the company's culture to the remote employees or to the hybrid employees. Is it the subject of the trainings or is it the subject of education?
maybe directly no, but indirectly yes. Because the biggest issue basically, and what I saw in my friends and in clients when the pandemic started, was the lack of trust. Some people had their employers who would call them constantly or send them emails constantly because they were wondering, or they were asking their employees to contact them at the end of the day or after having completed every task, just because they were afraid that people would be sitting at home and not doing anything, or at least not working. And in some cases, it was true, because I remember the case of a client who told me after 8 weeks that he discovered that one of his employees had not logged into the company computer for 6 weeks. But that's a bit extreme. But I think that trust building is the most important thing, as in it's more difficult remotely because we do not see physically what the person does. It's more challenging if we do not spend that much time in person, but it's a skill that it is possible to develop without seeing other people in person. I heard that it was the last question, so I'm finishing, right?
No, now it will be the last question.
I thought this was the last question.
No, we are going still to have one.
But if I don't have time, I just wanted to thank Jerry for inviting me.
No, but guys, to be honest, this creates like a full story now, because this event started with which word? Do you remember? Trust. And now what was said? The trust. But the last question for this part. The business services as such are treated to be the international ones. So we are experiencing to build the partnerships between the countries. We are experiencing the nearshoring and offshoring. Is 2026, from your perspective, how do you feel that this trend is going to be continued, that we are going to strengthen the relations between the countries when it comes to the service offering, or rather, seeing some trends on the world, everything will go into the local, let's say, environments, and there will be increase of the local services support rather than trans-country services? What do you think? What's your opinion?
I think it will go towards the international, and it's connected with the remote work as well. If I take one thing that I mentioned was the consolidation. If you have larger firms or private equity firms buying up business services or investing in them, what they do is that they tend to become larger and larger and spanning across borders. And clients join in on this. They are also mostly multinational. So they require one service provider for multiple countries. But if you connect that with the remote work or hybrid version as well, nowadays you can hire in any country you want to without setting up your entities. So you have come up with services that are innovative in how you find talent. So you can address your clients' needs wherever they are as well. So I don't think we're going to go back towards closing in and becoming focused on one single market. If you can find talent anywhere, hire talent anywhere, and you have more and more multinational clients, and you have more and more services that are being offered as well at the same time, it's just going to grow. The question is how you do that and how do you stay ahead of that change. So that's probably the key to it.
Rather international teams or local teams?
Rather international. All I wanted to say is that probably you said everything that I also wanted to say about it. Yeah, so
he was lucky he has notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can just say that I agree with that statement.
Yeah, Borislav, you have notes and you got the mic first, so it's more of a challenge for us. Now, based on how the world looks right now, Poland and Sweden are quite close to each other. The development of business between Poland and Sweden will develop this year. Instead of looking far away to the east or the west, it's nearshoring also for selling products and services. It's easier to develop something in Poland or going across to Sweden. It's a safe place to go to Sweden to invest here instead of further abroad. And that's the development I believe in. We talked about international teams. Yes, when we sell services, it's often cross-border services. It's often multidisciplinary. Clients want that. They want one service provider who is able to sell payroll or financial accounting in all Nordic countries, and they want the same platform, and they would also like to to talk to a lawyer who actually heard about the company before and can get started easily. So a good year between Poland and Sweden because of the rest of the world, the way it looks right now.
Thank you very much. And Matilda, yeah, Boris?
Add one thing to that statement as well.
Please do.
It's going towards international, as we all said, but with the demand for local experts. I have to add that one in just as a little bit of a twist, because we all can find international teams in international services, but you want the local experts who know the local regulations and laws and how to handle it. So that's the twist to it.
So, Matilda, besides thanking to Jerry, the last words from you.
I would also say international, because since the times are unstable in the same way for everyone, of course, apart from people who are living in the conflict zones or in difficult situations, I think that we mainly identify as humans and we see that we struggle with similar things. So it doesn't really matter what country we're from, as long as we find solutions together. Thank you. I'll try to make it short. And thank you, Jerry, again.
Thank you very much. So this was the first half of our panel. So big applause to Matilda, Borislav, Filip, and Zbigniew. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, so now let's listen to 4 extra voices, which are going to come from Tonis Jugeva, Head of Sales, One Office Group. Tonis, come and join us. Martin Romanowski, founder of MK Consult. Martin. Fredrik Berner, Senior Tax Consultant, Sidra Svergie. And Marek Karasiewicz, CEO, Karasiewicz and Kaczyk Tax Advisory. Thank you very much for joining us today. How was it so far?
Good.
So far, so good? Okay. So you have an easier work because you already know how the panel looks like. But we will, I don't know, maybe I will make some different ones. But let's start with the same for the very beginning. If you just could tell us a few more words about who you are and what businesses you are running on a daily basis.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you all. Thank you, Polish-Swedish Chamber of Commerce, for the invitation. And I'm very happy to be here. And coming back to what you asked, my name is Marek Karasiewicz. I'm a tax advisor. I'm also entrepreneur because I'm founder of tax consultancy, small company in Warsaw, in Poland.
And I am also in the tax business from the Swedish firm Cedra, which is basically part of us is a carve-out of PwC, but I'm from another firm called RSM who entered the Cedra network also. So I work with international tax.
Hello, dzień dobry, hey. My name is Martin Romanowski. I'm founder of MK Consult. I'm helping European companies within IT or automotive business to grow their business Sweden, Poland, or maybe Europe. That is one part. And the second part, I'm also working for the biggest Swedish investment company who invest in companies to grow faster, called Pamika. Thank you.
Thank you. Tonis?
Hi everyone, I'm Tonis. I actually work for an accounting company, but in order to get those accounting customers, we also do company formations, employer registrations, things like that. And we do it basically in the Baltic region, the Baltic states, Sweden, Finland, and of course the UK as well. It's a big market for us. So yeah, accounting expertise primarily, but also a little bit taxes, a little bit about company registration and stuff like that.
So we've got more accounting, more taxes, and more consulting now on the stage. So thank you very much from that perspective. And okay, let's stay in your area. We did experience here today some of the comments about AI, about automation, about technology. So there will be different questions than in the first panel. Let's try to touch this area. How do you think, from that perspective, that now what we can experience in the coming year, 2026? Because I have an experience that within the last 3 years now, we were like under a big hype that AI can do everything, it's present everywhere, everyone can use it. But to be honest, when I was talking to companies themselves, there was a lot of talk, less implementations, and not necessarily following this what was being read in the papers or in the web platforms. Is now something that it is going to change? Do you think that we will see more AI, more automation, more technology in the areas of your experience where you are, so in the finance, taxes, consulting area?
I'll start then. Well, first of all, we have the same conclusion that a lot of AI, a lot of tools, solutions, we've tried them, and they don't seem to work, at least not the way it was portrayed and how maybe we expected it. But still, like we implemented a system where we basically every 3 months we go through some proposals or solutions. What would we need from the AI? And if you can like increase an efficiency a little bit and not hire more people, then that's already actually a win. You can increase people's salaries. Maybe there's a little bit of that program cost. That's fine. But still, you could kind of maintain the same level of expert accountants and service a larger number of customers. So it is useful. It's just, our own expectations maybe were in the way.
Okay, this is, how long time do we have?
Not enough.
Of course, my background is IT, so I'm well in this AI discussion. But I think, of course, AI is coming fast and it will grow. But I think it's very important to see for your company what will help you. We have this big, huge companies who has big, money to invest in AI and so on. But how will it help with the small company? What can that, a 10 million Swedish kronor company, so it's very different. So I would say the AI is very good, but still, when I talk with companies, they ask, where's my customer? How do I route to the market? And how fast can I get it? Of course, AI will help, but people still do the work. Very short now. This is days of discussion. You can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, at our audit and tax firm, of course, we speak a lot about AI. We have, some of us have some threat, maybe AI will take my job as a tax lawyer and so on, but we want to use AI, of course. Then we can also say that a big part of my job is to help non-Swedish companies navigating between Swedish authorities, and there, up till today, AI does not help because you have to put some form there, you have to put some form to that authority and so on. So still, AI cannot help everything. But of course, we'll see in the future.
Well, it's very interesting question. I think we are at a very early stage of AI implementation and use in business life. In my opinion, the entire discussion with AI, it's a bit not about the founds and foundations of business. Because as I see in our tax consultancy, I mean, each company is based on some business model. And I think that AI, it really affects the grounds of business model. For example, when it comes to tax consultancy, we build, I mean, so far, our advantage over and our value, which we provide to the clients, is our knowledge, it's our experience. And it's really difficult for the clients, it has been really difficult so far to acquire those assets. Whereas now AI makes it has really tremendous impact on how easy the clients may access the knowledge, the experience. So it seems to me it will sooner or later not only increase efficiency internally, I mean how the a company is organized internally, but it sooner or later will have an impact on how the business is on offering. It could create new business models. It will definitely affect the many business models which so far have been successful, including also tax consultancy, in my opinion, for sure. It's not now, but in the future.
One extra question but connected with this what you already said. Can be shorter, can be longer answer from your side. About your feelings. Should we, within the business services, treat AI still as a tool to support us, or already treat it like a virtual employee who can actually take a part of our jobs? Who would like to say something?
Personally, I would like to have like a AI employee which can help me with repetitive things like or KYC processes and and I want to work with the expertise, the tax services. This is what I would like to use AI for.
I agree what you say. Of course, AI will be helping all businesses at some level. But what we are not talking about here is right now is the security part of AI. I think this is also very important. If you just talk taxes, there are many companies or governments who use AI, small or big ones, companies. This is very important, especially today, when you start implementing. Many companies still don't know how they can use AI, how it can help, but also can it not help, work the other way. So I would just say I'm not trying to be negative, but it's not just positive with AI, I would say, especially in these times, right now. Thank you.
Interesting thing, the AI, yes. In one sense, it kind of acts like a competitor sometimes. But maybe going back to the trust thing, and not really even trust, when something goes wrong, you cannot blame AI, but you can always blame your service provider or something like that. If a declaration or a tax or whatever is paid wrong, okay, they did it. But with AI, maybe not so much. So eventually, the people, the business owners, they still want like a human person in the background checking everything, or at least have a bird's eye view. Also, interesting thing with that is that you asked in the previous panel, like 2025 and 2026, what's going on. I work in sales, so a lot of people contact us. And nowadays, there's so much of those. You see that everything is written with AI. Somebody prompted something in. I'm not even sure if the person in the background knows English or whatever language. And just, comes with questions. And what to do with that? It's impolite not to answer. It takes a lot of time to answer. So I copy this into AI and say that please answer this person.
So like a tool, yeah? So it's still treated like a tool. Guys, question. So we already touched a little bit of a technology. Now let's take a look on the profile of a client. Because in the title of our panel use the words the growth and the expansion. The beginning of any outsourcing activities like ages ago, they started with the big companies, the big corporations who wanted just to get rid of some of the processes, transfer them to India, then to Europe or Africa or Latam region, and so on. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe these outsourcing activities are going down the ladder. So this is not only a service for the big guys, but also for the middle companies and the smaller ones. So from your experience and from the your experience and from the perspective of the services you are providing, do you see that the profile of your clients is also changing? And this is not only the service for the, let's say, Fortune 100 companies, but also for the guys from the middle and small enterprises?
From my experience, we are working for really range different types of clients, for individuals and also for huge corporations. What I could say is that it seems to me that the clients, especially in the bigger organizations, they modify their expectations. They are still the same business, but they are expecting even more proactivity because they have access to AI. So they are expecting a bit different things from tax advisors acting. They prefer us to act rather as managers than advisors. I mean, there is obvious difference between two roles. So it seems to me, and what I see at the side of clients, that they modify a bit their expectations.
What we can say about the Swedish market is that tax is very different for a multinational company and a small family-owned business, and all the big four firms in Sweden carved out their businesses divisions for small and middle-sized businesses, which I am a part of. So working with small and middle-sized businesses is definitely being close to the customer, being fast and reactive, and to meet their needs. They cannot pay super much. They want somebody who can hold them in the hand and assist them very quickly and easily.
To add on this is more also that more and more companies, if you look, not focus on the biggest one, but as medium-sized and smaller, you're looking at what is kind of investment they need to do to go to Sweden from Poland or the other way, but also how fast can they get a result, and they also want to have stability for a longer time. The trust part, you know, they don't have the, I would say, the money to just shoot, if you know, and try. Like maybe bigger have.
I think those times have already.
No. So to go to further away outside Europe or just Sweden and Poland, you know, or Europe, it's more and more. You know, they are a little bit more hesitating right now. Than they want to see a faster result, as small investment as possible, stability, the trust we have mentioned or many times, and many companies will ask also, how long are you going to be here? Are you going to just try out for 1 year? Or you're really going to be here for years so we can go to our customers and promote your products and you don't disappear after 1 year. This is very important because if that is the feeling they get, they will not buy your products, doesn't matter what it is. This is my experience. Thank you.
So, yeah, we've always been catering to small and medium-sized businesses. So that's like the question, you know, it's a difficult question because maybe they did outsource somewhere else a while back. But it's interesting that people come in with more mature ideas. So when we're talking about taxes and maybe registering a company or whatever they need to do here in Sweden to actually, you know, service the needs of the local population here, there's many ways of doing that. But they come with mature ideas, and basically I'm already, during the first discussions, I'm already kind of helping them to execute instead of, you know, how much does it cost? Of course, price is important. All of that is important. But it's more like, okay, do we have an understanding? Will you deliver me the results that they need? And they're coming in with already like marketing ideas or strategies. They have funding, maybe some grants. Talked about that earlier. So that's a big shift. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that economies are booming in Europe right now, but people are coming in with more mature ideas. And I'm thinking that maybe those mature ideas went to somewhere else beforehand. So answer to your question, maybe outsourcing is not a thing anymore, and they're doing it here locally in Europe.
Okay, let's follow on that. So we already discussed some kind of trends, profiles, and so on. So now let's say the preferences of creating the business relations. So nearshoring versus offshoring. Do you think that which of those trends is actually going to be more stronger in a coming, let's say, year? Is Europe moving rather towards nearshoring relations? So like here, for example, between Sweden, Poland, Sweden, or are we now experiencing something to go to the more farther lands, like to India, to Philippines, or maybe to Kenya? Because Africa is also now showing what they can do. So your feelings, we are now in the year of nearshoring or in the year of offshoring?
I think energy, where there's a lot of like cheap energy, that's where businesses are going, if again related to AI. But I don't have like a good answer to this based on my experience with the customers. I just know that the European Union just signed this deal with Latin America countries. So that probably also opens some opportunities instead of going to, you know, Asia. maybe Latin America. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. Probably it's cheaper to produce there, but it's also closer, maybe less instability or risk in the shipment of goods and services and all of that. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know, but personally, from one office view, I don't have a good answer to this. Just what I read.
Okay, I have experiences for the last 5, 6, 7 years about this. Work with different companies in Europe. Is that especially it started already with the COVID came. We talk logistics and production. I would say it were very suddenly you see that too much production was in Asia. The transportation to Europe started very affected the timing and the prices to ship products from Asia to Europe went skyrocket, and suddenly in 6 months, 1 year, huge investment in Europe was started to move production just to shorten it, and especially in Southeast Europe. But also the latest years, as I've seen now, from customers, especially if you do purchase, I would say, requests from governments or bigger customers, they ask where it's produced. That was, of course, quite common before, but that is also got extreme right now. Where it's produced, not only how is shipment, both environmental, but also politic-wise and security and stability of the supplier. So yes, to be honest, it's more and more going back to Europe made, or if you want to say, but what is Euro made today? Asian company can put up a factory in Europe, but they just do the last 10% of the production, or just assemble in Europe, and they call it a factory just to get by the taxes and all the the European laws to get and just say this made in Europe, but it's not. They just do the last 10% of the production in Europe. So answer your question, it's very clear now, and the last year it's even more from the customer points of view. So I think this will be very good for Polish and Swedish relations, for the future.
For me, it's too difficult question. I'm just a tax advisor, so I rely on Martin.
Okay. So let me try. I think it's again very difficult question. It is said that the supremacy, that era of supremacy of United States will end soon, which probably means that we will live in more multipolar, more diversified world, which again means that the globalization will make few steps back. So this nearshoring is probably more realistic scenario, but we, as Kim, I believe at the beginning of the meeting, said that we don't know what the future will be.
My personal feeling is that actually we are in the nearshoring direction. That's when it comes to, maybe not in the production, because this example of buying some foods or goods wherever in the world is a different example. But when it comes to this element of trust and building the partnerships, I believe we are on a direction to have closer to us those who work for us rather than more far away. I know I need to finish, so the last question. We are on the event organized by Polish-Swedish Chamber of Commerce. Polish business is hungry to grow everywhere, including Nordics, including Sweden. Poland is also hungry for new investments coming from all over the world, including Nordics and Sweden. What would you advise to company from either Sweden to consider when going to Poland, or from Poland to consider when going to Sweden?
Yeah, of course, to have a good local advisor.
Big applause.
So next time I have a Swedish client who will expand to Poland, I will directly reach out to Marek.
Thank you. I fully agree. What I may add that it's a good time. It's still good time. So probably it's beneficial to to benefit from this opportunity which we have now, because we will not know what the future will be about.
Someone said read papers, newspapers, but also, of course, this meetings, Polish-Swedish commerce. But most important, I would think, is to look at similar companies, what they are doing, and also how they are working to find an opportunity to work together, but also investment. You need to go from one country to another country. It costs money, so you need to get help from both the governmental help, but also from the private sector. Thank you.
Dennis, the last sentence.
Yeah, local help is needed, definitely. Whether it's us or somebody else, that doesn't matter, but don't do it alone. All in all, yeah, it's a good year in Sweden this year. I think we already saw it last year, and if things progress the same way, then just make your first steps, investigate, and see what happens.
Trust and investigate. Those are two words which may be complicated when going together. But we will see. Anyway, Dennis, Martin, Fredrik, Marek, thank you very much for this discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, so now it's my big pleasure to invite on the stage Jacek Juhlkowski, who is already joining us in here, the Vice Chairman of Swedish-Polish Chamber of Commerce, for closing remarks. Jacek?
Thank you very much, Victor. I hope you can hear me. It's always a little bit awkward for me to say hello or good afternoon when I'm starting the closing remark, but hello and good afternoon. My name is Jacek Juhlkowski. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Swedish-Polish Chamber of Commerce, and I'm very happy that I can see so many faces today. One comment to the last discussion. We need to remember that lately Poland has bought 3 submarines from Sweden and also started a new ferry between Poland and Sweden. I think it's a strong signal that something is happening, right? We need to take care of the Baltic Sea together. We have a not very nice neighbor that is making some noise. So we need to take care of this together. And also, I don't think we can rely on alliances as much as we used to. So probably locally we need to be stronger. And Poland and Sweden are naturally allies and friends now, even more than ever. Okay, I would like to thank Hans-Jakob Bonier for the opening of today's seminar. Of course, one and only Jurek Rawowski. Mats Vara as our technical guru, taking care of equipment and transmission. And Jesper Reguła, who sent out the emails to the participants, so he helped us with the marketing. Wiktor Doktor, our moderator today, coming from Poland to run this event. Of course, I would like to thank all the panelists, all the speakers. Great job. I know it's not that easy to come out on the stage, take the microphone and speak, but you did a wonderful job. Thank you very much for all the information, insight, experience that you shared today. Thank you. In a minute or 2 or 3, we will close the online transmission and there will be time for networking. But I know that Victor would like to take the microphone for the last time and show you a little video.
So here we go with one short video. There should be some music behind, yeah. So this what you see is actually an event which we have organized a year ago, and also a year ago, and 3 and 4 and 5 years ago. This is an event named Follow the Leaders, which we are organizing in Poland this year on the 27th and 28th of May. So put this date into your calendars, because this is an international event fully focused on the business services, but also on the modern industry. It is fully packed with networking, with education, and with lots of other elements which are sharing the knowledge, know-how between each other. And why I am talking about that? Because we have a special thing. We are cooperating with the Swedish-Polish Chamber of Commerce. We are cooperating. We had an opportunity to work with you today to share this, what is happening in the modern industry services. So we have prepared 10 full tickets for this event. The value of each ticket is 1,500 euro for the companies who are from Sweden or from the world and are not yet present in Poland. So we are very happy to host you in Poland for those 2 days, participate in conferences, networking and FDI roundtable to give you as much information about Poland and the business opportunities which this country creates. So, if any of you is in the situation or you know the companies who are thinking about their expansion to go to either Poland or Central Eastern Europe to find some good business opportunities, we would be happy to welcome you on this event in Poland on 27th, 28th of May. And this is going to take place in Gdańsk, so just on the other side of the Baltic Sea. So this is what I wanted to show you how this event looks like. This is over 600 participants who take part in that, coming to us from all over the world. Last year, something is not shown here properly, but I am very happy to provide you all of the necessary details if you look for them. Some of the companies who are present in the room were with us already in the previous editions. Jacek was with us a year ago, so you have a man on the ground who can share the information how it looked like. So that was the last info for today. Thank you.
Victor, just to clarify, because the tickets are for free, you normally sell them, but the offer to our community here is to come for free?
We do sell those tickets. Actually, there are 2 ways to use the free tickets. One of them is to be the member of the Pro Progressive Club, which we run in Poland. And the second is that this, what I mentioned, for 10 companies who are not yet present in Poland and are from Sweden, or from Nordics, or from other countries, who are either the members of the chamber, or the friends of us, or the participants of the events which are being organized in here. We do have 10 of such tickets which we are happy to pass.
For free.
For free.
For free. Okay. Thank you very much, Victor. And yes, I was there last year and I cannot recommend it enough. It was a fantastic event and a great opportunity to meet new partners and find new business opportunities and share knowledge. But today, thank you very much. Thanks to all the online participants. And we have time to network and build new relationships here right now. Thank you very much.